Hey, it's Ramsey Dewey over here in Shanghai, China at the UFL gym. I'm here with Jess, and we're going to review these gloves from our friends at Liberlupus. They sent us a couple of pairs of MMA gloves. Now these are competition style gloves. They're not the thick, extra padded sparring gloves. So if you wear these, go light contact, which is how you should be doing most of your sparring anyway. So Jess had the opportunity to punch me in the face a few times with these things, and let's just go over some of these specifics. You notice it has two sets of Velcro straps. It's got this inner strap, which is stretchy, which is cool, so you can get it extra tight. The one drawback about that, I noticed, is that it's hard to get it on tight because when you pull, notice this strap right here kind of floats off there. So you gotta pull this in, and then you gotta pull that over. So if you're skilled with two fingers, you can do that. But what I do like is it's got this extra long outside strap, so you can wrap this around 2 times. See, a lot of these cheaper MMA gloves, and these are inexpensive, but I would say they're not cheaply made. A lot of the cheaply made ones have a short strap, which tends to come off and then scratch up your training partners. Now, if that does become a problem, just put some sports tape around the outside to stop it from coming off, and then you won't scratch up anybody.
Do they come in multiple sizes? I see they have large, extra large.
Yeah, these are size large XL. They also come in small, medium, so I don't know why they just don't call it like small and medium or small and large or regular and extra size. Mm-hmm. There are 2 sizes. These ones are the large XL size, okay? So Jess, how did it feel punching me in the face wearing these Liberlupus gloves?
I mean, punching people in the face feels great all the time. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel comfortable. They like a little bit loose because my my normal MMA gloves are a little bit more snug, but also I think they're more so for sparring. They have a little bit more padding. Wait, those other ones, they have a little bit more padding. Yeah, I mean, that's the main thing is just I felt they were a little bit loose, but that's just me.
Yeah, one thing that differentiates this style of glove from, say, the UFC gloves, the UFC official has a leather strap right here and no padding on the thumb. This has a little bit of padding on the thumb, so if you're throwing like a ridge hand or something like that, then you won't completely destroy your thumb if you muck it up. But at the same time, I don't know if you can see this, there's this little strap right there where if you are you miss with that could potentially poke somebody in the eye. So again, light contact if you are using these competition style gloves for sparring.
Yeah, I couldn't get this on properly. Like, I'm not skilled with 2 fingers. So like I didn't think this contributed to it being super loose for me, but like trying to get this on and then wrap this around, and I can't do it properly, so. Yeah,
so if you don't have a lot of agility in your fingers, you might need a partner to help you put these things on. See, a lot of MMA gloves, they don't have this inner strap. And again, if the inner strap becomes a problem, then just take the outer strap, forget about the inner strap, wrap that around, and it'll still be decent. But if you do want that extra tightness on the inside, then yeah, do some magic with your fingers right there and get that together. Now, one complaint I have, not just about these, but like every MMA glove, almost every MMA glove except for like the hybrid sparring gloves, is where the padding is, the distribution of the padding. If you look at it, most of the padding, and not just these, but virtually all MMA gloves, even in the UFC, most of the padding is on the back of the hand and not the front of the glove. There's like next to nothing in front of the knuckles. And so you'll feel those knuckles. If you're throwing hard, heavy, clenching up those fists, yeah, you'll feel the knuckles through the gloves, okay? So, man, I would strongly recommend for manufacturers of MMA gloves, start putting more padding on the front and less padding on the top. And that would have an added bonus, because if you do that, then it will increase the curvature of the hand. One of the big problems with MMA is accidental eye gouging, so much so that they had to change the rules of the sport a couple years ago, where you're no longer allowed to extend the fingers forward like this, okay? For fear that you might accidentally poke someone in the eye. You have to have the fingers angled away from your opponent's eyes, so this, or make fists, or up here, but not this, right? But if there was extra padding, oh, we got a mosquito.
Yeah, I'm like,
get
I
out
feel
of
like a psycho.
So, yeah, what's happening there? Okay, but if we had a wad of extra padding on the front of the knuckles, it would naturally form the hand down in this position. And I think there are some organizations that do that. Like if you watch Combat Karate, have you seen that? It's this
like
new...
shortly on Instagram, like a short Instagram video, just on like my Discover page.
Okay, yeah. It's this relatively new karate competition format. It's like full contact fighting, but it has some very specific rules to encourage, the cool, flashy karate type techniques. So you see like the crisp, clean punches and the high kicks and the spinning stuff. And their gloves are interesting because they do have the extra padding on the front, not so much on the back. Now that's great for like a spinning back fist, but that's a rare exceptional strike, whereas the straight punches, the hooks, the uppercuts, that's most of what's happening in a fight. So a little extra on the front, or if you're doing sparring, a lot extra on the front, like a hybrid glove would be perfect. So any other thoughts about the Liberlupus MMA gloves?
I like those. They look cool. I like gold. Even like my boxing gloves have a little bit of gold on them. So
yeah, these ones have a gold trim. These ones have a black trim.
So yeah,
black on black.
Aesthetically, it looks super cool.
Yeah. So they come in a few different colors. That's cool. Again, they are on the lower end. They're available on Amazon.com. I'll put a link in the description down below if you want to go check them out. And if you want to see my other reviews of Liberlupus and other products, put the link in the description as well. Okay, thanks for watching. Now get out there and train. I will add that I would not recommend doing an extended amount of heavy bag work with MMA gloves. Not just this specific brand of gloves, but MMA gloves in general. If you take a look at my hands, they are raw, and this is just after a few minutes of hitting the heavy bag with these gloves. Especially the webbing in between my pinky finger and my ring finger. Right between those knuckles, man, that is raw. If I did a full bag workout, that would have been bad. And just to show I'm not some dainty little buttercup as far as the hands go, here I am punching a steel beam. Woo! Don't try this at home, kids. That actually did far less damage than wearing the gloves themselves, simply because of the combination of moisture and sweat collecting on the hands and the position of the fabric on the inside of the glove pressing into the skin. MMA gloves are usually too tightly fitted to wear canvas wraps underneath if you hope to mitigate the damage to the skin. Tape, as in athletic tape that fighters use, can help. If you're looking for a quality but inexpensive bag glove, consider the boxing gloves made by the same company. Liberlupus makes boxing gloves. I did a review of them on this channel. They come in several colors, and they're great for extended rounds on the heavy bag without all the superficial damage to the skin on your hands. So what do you actually do with a pair of competition-style MMA gloves besides competing in the sport of MMA or just wearing them around the house trying to look cool? Well, they make excellent bag gloves for the speed bag. They really do. And in addition to that, sparring, controlled sparring, don't go nuts. These things will leave marks if you put any level of power behind your strikes. But sparring drills, especially in the context of grappling, using light strikes are super useful for any fighter. So give it a go.